Hello guys, my name is SVB and I'm back with another episode of the Thought Process series. In these hero specific episodes, I'm going to be talking to the world's best players to try and understand what they're thinking when they play their heroes and why they make the decisions they do. For Reinhardt, I got to talk to LHCloudy, who as of making this video is the #1 ranked tank player on both EU and NA, which is kind of ridiculous. And he's done so playing Reinhardt only and revolutionized the way Reinhardt is being played. So I'm going to talk to Cloudy first about the hero in general, and then we're going to watch one of his games and talk through various decisions he made and why he made them to try and give you guys a better understanding of how you should play Reinhardt just like him. So let's get to it, guys.
Hello, I'm LHCloudy. I play Reinhardt in ladder, 2 years in Overwatch League, I guess. I have Twitch, LHCloudy27, I stream. I also have Twitter on that name, so I have that going.
You know, people have been saying for a while now that Rein is weak, and you've gone and gotten, rank 1 on both EU and NA in a time when everyone's playing like Ball and Zarya and Sigma and basically the off tanks. So what do you think has changed to make Reinhardt as strong as you make him look? Or do you think that people have just had it wrong all along and Rein was strong?
I mean, I've gotten rank 1 in like 65 different metas now, like double shield I played Rein and spam I played Rein. Rank 1. I think Rein has always been a strong hero, but it's like the way people like play Rein like a main tank when he's like a off-angle clearer DPS character. So I think that's a misunderstood part about Rein.
That's actually great, because that leads in exactly to my next question, because I was going to say that people traditionally see Rein as this sort of stable anchor tank that's very reliant on teammates, but you play Rein completely differently. You play him, like you said, as a sort of aggressive DPS flank controller kind of guy. So have you had to change to play Rein that way, or have you always played Rein that way?
I mean, I kind of changed it over the years because that's how you get the max value out of the character. I think you should always try to get the max value out of any character you play, and I think that's the most valuable way to play Rein.
So yeah, you think this is like the best way to min-max him right now, basically?
I mean, I think it's the best way to play Rein by far. Yeah.
If you had to pin it down, like, what do you think people most misunderstand about Rein?
Well, they think Rein always should like stay in front of team, hold shield, give DPS space, when you give the most amount of space by going into enemy backline and swinging at squishes.
So actually, before the game even starts, I'd like to ask you, how much do you pay attention to what your teammates are playing, and how much does that change your decision making and what you're going to do when the game starts?
Well, the most important thing is, do you have a Lucio or not? Nothing else really matters in the end. If you have Lucio, you can do so much more. But if you don't have Lucio, you need to play way different. Nothing else really matters to me, in ranked at least.
So just could you give us like a brief explanation of like what's the major changes when you do have a Lucio or when you don't?
If you have a Lucio, you control like the entire game, the pace. You can always know when to go in. You can force engage. You can win. Like, you can just do everything. If you don't have speed, you have to like be the one who takes the aggression and guides it.
So do you like to be in constant communication with your Lucio, or is it good enough for you just to have him in the game?
I mean, I always talk with Lucio. I always ask if he has speed, and then I 3-2-1 speed and go in.
Perfect. And would you recommend that, like, if someone really wants to lock Reinhardt, that maybe they find a Lucio duo, or?
Yes, Lucio duo or Zarya duo is the best one.
Perfect. Okay. Well, let's get into the game then and see exactly kind of the decisions you make, why you make them, and yeah, we'll see. So you guys starting off as a Rein Zarya mirror right now.
Yeah.
So in the Rein Zarya mirror, what are you most looking to kind of do?
Well, I want to get the max value out of swings and get like a lot of energy for my Zarya. And I mean, it kind of depends what flex support either team is playing. So.
Okay, well, let's have a look in this case. So they're running Pharah, they've got Ana, they've got Mercy, you've got Bap, Lucio, and you've got Junkrat. So when you see this, like, what are you thinking?
Well, if you ever have Lucio, Rein versus Mercy Rein, you need to be the one running in. First fight, I just want to wait when I have speed boost, and when I have speed boost, I'll all in on the Rein, Zarya, or Ana, whichever is close.
Let's have a look then how that plays out. So yeah, you're swing trading, bubbles go down, so you're naded. So you're playing more carefully now, obviously, because of the nade, I presume?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you're just waiting. Nade runs out, you start swinging in. So you trade the Rein, but you lose 2 people behind. How does that, what are you thinking now? Like, you've traded the front line, but you've lost a couple in your back line. Are you still going to be aggressive, or are you thinking being more passive now?
Well, usually when you're down a player, it's better to make an aggressive play than to back off. Well, it kind of depends, but here I'm already too far to get out and my speed is dead, so the only way to win is to go more aggressive. Like there's no
Yeah,
way
that's
to if I just back off, like we instantly lose. Only way we win anymore is if I like do something crazy.
yeah, I think that's a really important point actually, because I think that's one thing that a lot of people do misunderstand, where they think that sometimes if you're down, just play super safe, whereas actually, yeah, you're basically gonna lose this fight if you don't make something happen. Is that fair?
Yeah, pretty much.
All right, so let's see what you try. Oh, it's a fantastic pin on the Mercy. So that's exactly what we were talking about. So you've gone and taken the Pharah's Mercy out. Now she might kill you, but you've already made enough of a play for your team, and you actually get out. So that's perfect case in point demonstrated there. Okay, so you let the first flip go, but is it, in your mind, is it more important to just kind of win the fight?
Yeah, I mean there like if we go point we lose. Like we already lost the point, but here we are already like kind of back in the fight. Like we have kind of 3 kills. The Pharah is stuck with the Rein, so we're like 3v3ing on choke right now. And if we go
Hmm.
point, like we 100% lose, like even harder.
Yeah,
Because there's
exactly. So again, it's making the mature decision, right? So earlier you just kind of waited when you were antied and stuff because you knew it wasn't the right time. And again, here going for the point would have been a bit of a suicide move. So here you go for the pin. Is that a deliberate fake, or were you trying to get in there?
I tried to get him, but I miscalculated the distance. Happens.
Yeah, that happens. So again, guys, happens to even the literal best Reinhardts in the world. So don't worry if you do. Okay, this is interesting. So you've gone very aggressive here, and you have bullied the Reinhardt out. So what is it that's making you be this aggressive? Is it the fact that it's that 3v3 in the choke you were talking about?
Yeah, I mean they have 3 people right side. I have speed boost. They don't have speed boost. I have speed boost. I always go more aggressive. And they kind of fed
Perfect.
because they're like 3-3 split and we have speed, so they just like
Perfect. So yeah, you played to the strength of your comp, basically.
yep.
Okay, so now you got to win the fight on point. You go for the Zarya. Okay, so you get fire struck there. Is it? Are you sort of happy, unhappy with how that went down? Like, is there something you would have done differently?
I mean, I think I played that fight pretty. I don't know. I don't think I could have done a lot more that fight. It was pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's hard to see. Who knew where that fire strike was going to come from. So yeah, I think you
Yeah, I
were.
mean, I think I was just kind of unlucky. Random fire
Yeah,
strike to payload when I'm 100 HP.
exactly. Yeah. Okay, so how do you deal with when there's there's a Pharah on the right, as we'll see actually here. So there's a Pharah pressuring from there, there's an Ashe here. Are you going to do the same kind of thing where you just want to bully this Rein? Because you're being pressured from off angles, and I think this is where most Reinhardt struggle, where they have this sort of double pressure, and they sometimes get a bit confused what to do. So what would you do here? We'll see in a sec, but what would you theoretically do?
Well, I think the right decision here would rush the Rhine, but like you need to rush one side. It doesn't matter what you rush, but if enemy is in 2 different angles, you have to push one side really hard. You either mark the other side or you hard push the other side. I think
Yeah,
here I shouldn't. I mean, I got kind of surprised by Barrage. You guys should have pushed the Reinhardt instead of going there. But
yeah, that
I
makes
didn't.
sense.
I didn't see the fire. I think so. That was kind of a mistake.
Yeah, I think she actually snuck up around the
Yeah,
side.
yeah, I didn't see the fire, so that was bad play. I should have rushed the right side, but you need to rush like one side.
Hmm.
Made the wrong decision there.
Yeah, so right principle, but of course that lacking that key piece of information made it the wrong decision. But it was the right principle, basically.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're pushing through. So you're knocked away. Your first instinct is just to get back as quickly as you can, or are you going to pressure point? Like, it looks like you're pressuring point.
Yeah, I mean, I got pooped by accident, but I know my Macri is right side, so I have like
Hmm.
3 point pressure and they have to touch. Because we called like pre-fight, our Chris gonna flank high noon right, so I pushed
Hmm.
left, then I got pooped, and then like if I go back up, it takes too much time. Might as well pressure point.
Hmm. Makes sense. Makes sense. So yeah, is your McCree being up here is kind of what's giving you the where was he? Where is he? Here he
It
is.
was
Yeah, so
like
he
it
was
was
there,
like
but
right
he's
side.
moved here. Yeah. So
Yeah,
that
so I
gave you the
don't.
freedom to move.
Yeah, I was completely free. Cause when I was speeding and I Chris high noon in there, they can't do anything with their comp.
Hmm. Okay, great. Well, let's watch now. So you get grabbed. Oh, you grab them.
Uh,
Is that's like a frequent trick, isn't it? You know Reinhardts are gonna try and counter slam when you're in a grab.
yeah.
So yeah, that's fairly straightforward. They whiff their grab. So you actually catch the Rein, but were you happy enough just to catch the Zarya there?
Yeah, sorry, I was fine. The Rhine was just bonus. I aimed for the Zarya, but the Rhine fucked up, so I got
Hmm.
bonus.
And is that something you generally aim to do, like shatter Zarya's, because they're obviously high energy and a threat in the mid fight?
I usually just shatter anything that I can see. It doesn't matter 1 guy, 2 guy, 3 guy, 4 guy, 6. I just shatter something I see.
And is that again something you've adapted because of the shatter nerfs, or is that just a general?
No. I just always like solo shatter anyone. Like I didn't actually even mind. I just shatter anything always, no matter what shatter it was.
Okay, and I think that's helpful. I think you should. That's a helpful tip for players. Just kind of take whatever shatter you get, like even if it's one, it's a pick, right?
Yeah, anything is fine.
Okay, so back you go to control the choke. So now it's going to be about which side they engage from. Is this as much to see where they're going as it is to... Actually, let's break that down. So was that just to see where they were going?
Yeah, I wanted to scout where they were. I just looked there and saw their right, so I go right.
And then you charge over. Is that... So obviously some Reinhardts might be like, oh, I can't charge over because now I can get counter pin. But you feel it's more important to get here quick rather than save the pin.
Yeah, I mean, there's no way. I mean, it would be a really good pin, and I have bubble and I have drone. There's no way I die. Even if he hits the pin, I'll be fine because I have bubble and drone. And his backline is stuck in the choke. They can't shoot me.
Yeah, that makes sense. You've kind of assessed the situation and decided, like, oh, so here it comes actually. So he does go for the counter pin, but as you said, the bubble comes in, right?
Yeah, and he just dies.
Yeah, so he's gonna, yeah, there you go. And now you're speeding in because you've got taken the Reinhardt out. And even if you die here, you've kind of, I think, again, I would say you've made the right play here because you made the space and they've had to, you know, obviously Jans is going to go out and kills, but he's going to do that. But you've done the right thing.
Yeah. I mean, maybe I could have waited like 1 or 2 seconds there, but I heard Nano Farah, and when you hear Nano Farah, you just try to trade before your entire team dies. Because Jans kills 7 people with every Nano, so there's nothing he can do.
Yeah, exactly. So I think again, yeah, it was a bad spot to be in where it's like, well, there's a Nano Farah behind me, but yeah, like you said, the best thing there is to just trade out and try and get like 2 or 3 kills with you.
Yeah.
Okay. So again, you guys go try and take the high ground. And you've got a diva now, so does that change at all how you're gonna play, or is it still the same situation?
Yeah, it's kind of the same, because they don't have like a speed boost, so my diva is just gonna int on a squishy while I run in, so I can be even more aggressive.
Okay, great. So you see that Ana on her own, and I can see I can only see from your POV you want her bad.
Yeah.
So yeah, with your Lucio basically, yeah, you're able to go and get her. Yeah, unfortunately, your Lucio trades for it.
Yeah, I know that probably shouldn't happen, but it happens. You know, enemy hit good shots, it happens sometimes.
Oh, this is a great pin! Oh! Now, was that calculated? How calculated was that?
Of course, always calculated move. Always. Every time. I knew that was gonna happen for sure.
Well, let's have a look at where to start, because this might be, we might have made a new little spot here. Let's see where you started the pin.
Yeah.
Okay, there you go.
Perfectly, for sure.
Anyone who's looking for a sick little spot there, just I think the 3rd or 4th step from the top, start your pin.
Perfect placement.
Perfectly calculated.
For sure.
Perfect. All right, and that's an easy fight win there now.
Yeah.
Okay, so again, it's that same decision of like where they're coming from. I'm gonna block that choke. You lose your tracer. So this time you actually don't go straight to the choke. So what's the thinking behind that this time? Because last time, you charge over.
I guess we have window high noon and they have to touch point. So I was like thinking we just window high noon top, but me and Pap had like a different idea. He wanted to window there while I wanted to window in the middle when they touch. Because you don't need to go close if you have window high noon and they have to touch the point, like they're just gonna die. But we had like different ideas. I don't miscommunication probably. I'm not sure, but because we just actually win. If the enemy has to touch point, they have no diva. We have window high noon. They're gonna die. There's nothing they can do. Yeah,
I guess it's just unlucky. This happens in any non-team environment. Like in a team, you'd obviously not do this, but as in a ranked game, this kind of stuff happens all the time. Yeah, so you go back to the fire strike.
Yeah, we just had different ideas. It happens.
So are you still going to play around the high noon then? Okay, looks like you're going to drop.
I have to touch.
Yeah, you don't want to give it away. So one thing I want to quickly note there is that, so your shield goes down, and this is just because I think this is a good tip for players. So your shield goes down. It goes down to about 300 because the Zarya is pressuring it. Now, I think many Reinhardts might just stand here and let it break, but you decide to kind of trade your HP pool while your shield recharges. Is that correct?
Yeah, it is.
So yeah, here you start fire striking, swinging as your BAP's healing you. So in the meantime, your shield starts going up, and now you can flick it back up at any point. But you're just gonna smack this Reinhardt to death. Unlucky with the slam. Lamp means you can come out. And there you go, yeah. So I think, is it fair to say that like with the shatter attempt earlier, it's kind of like, even if it gets like nothing, it's fine, right? Because it's pressure.
Yeah,
it's just pressure.
Yeah, I mean, there I tried to hit like the squeezes, but like the fire got bubbled when I shattered. I don't know, maybe it wouldn't have hit anyway, but I aimed for the fire immerse.
Okay, yeah. Fair. And then the rest of the round is kind of comfortable there. Yeah. You get the kill on the Pharah and just leaves one McCree. He's not going to touch. Nice. Okay. Next point. Okay, so again, just a quick for anyone who doesn't understand, like why are you going left side instead of main or right side?
Because you go right side, you have like less cover as Rein comp, and on left side you can like pincer them easier the right side, and because if they have spam comp, you go right side, like, it's way harder to attack from right instead of left.
So that's kind of your general principle, like always pick the side with better cover for your Reinhardt play.
Yeah, like we pick the side that's easiest to rush the enemy from, because if they don't have Rein mirror, you need to like run at the 10 and stuff.
Okay. So you see there Reinhardt is kind of, he's a bit scared, so you're just gonna bully him.
I mean, their Rein was just feeding, like he's actually 1v6, like their entire team goes main and their Rein is alone, so it's like a free kill.
Yeah, so basically recognize, like if someone's on their own, like if particularly a Rein's on his own, just like don't hesitate, just W.
Yeah, I mean that was legitimately a hard feed by Rein and free kill for us.
Okay. But now the rest of their team is quite far away, so how are you gonna what's your plan here? When you see so many people poking from a distance, you're just gonna play point?
I mean, it depends how close the backline is. Like here it's too far to rush and we have a kill already, so here I'm like, we can just pressure point to win, because they can't really touch without dying. Because their Rein is dead. So we don't need to rush. Their backline's too far to rush right now, like they're really far.
Yeah, and you're just kind of trying to threaten the Pharah so she can't fly too close.
Yeah.
Okay, their Rein's back on ball now, so how does that change it for you, like knowing that there's a wrecking ball gonna be harassing your backline?
Well, it means that either I hold shield, if enemy backline's too far, I tell my team out and they can shoot the ball, but I need to look to rush like Zarya and Ana more if they don't have Rein. I need to like look to rush someone down when they get close enough to win.
Is that because you feel you're more valuable pressuring their backline, or is it you feel like it's just not going to do a lot if you're standing there shielding?
I mean, Rein's never like. I mean, sometimes you can hold shield, but you should always try to look to get some value. I mean, it always depends, but Rein is a useless character. If you just hold shield for your backline all game, might as well play Orisa.
Yeah, exactly, because at least you can shoot while you're Orisa.
Yeah,
as well.
You can shoot bullets. Yeah.
Yeah, and I guess what you're saying is like, yeah, you could go and shield your, you could go shield your BAP here, but also if you go and you're deep against their Zarya and their Ana, that's also going to stop pressure on your BAP. Is that fair?
If I run at the Zarya and Ana, that's gonna give my BAP more space than me holding shield in front of them. Because there's a 550 HP character running at their squishes, they can't just, it's so much space for the entire team.
Great, that's perfect, because I think that's exactly the sort of crux of what makes your Reinhardt play so good, is that, yeah, you've shifted the emphasis, where I think most people still play Reinhardt as like, well, if I'm here, I'm giving more value, but you're saying, well, actually the value is indirect, right? That you are protecting your team just indirectly because you're taking pressure off them in a different way.
Yep.
Okay, so obviously you trade ball for BAP. That's okay. Now you've lost 2. So is it again a moment where you're thinking I gotta be aggressive, or are you thinking I gotta be passive?
I mean, here I have no way to rush anything down, so here I'm just probably gonna stall point. Like here it's too far. I can't like, there's no way to make a play. I charge in, I'm gonna die. I speed in, it's too far. Our BAP is dead. And there's not much I can do here except stall point.
And does the fact that you're controlling point kind of help that decision as well? Because you know you have something to play for.
Yeah, I know that because it's looking really bad right now. Like we don't have BAP or Tracer and they have Fire Ash. So I'm like thinking, yeah, I probably need to stall point because like it's too hard to rush there.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's exactly what you do. You're just stalling. You see the Zarya, you try to pressure her. Yeah, now this is where it gets problematic, right? Like there's a lot of angles flanking you, there's people knocking you around.
I mean, we already lost the fight now, it's just buying time. Like there's nothing we can do anymore.
Yeah, so you know, I think another thing that Reinhardt players get frustrated with is moments like that where they're like, well, what am I supposed to do? But I guess what you're saying is there isn't anything to do, just move on to the next fight.
Yeah, I mean, when our BAP and Tracer die, like it's like 75% lost already. There's like nothing you can do. I mean, you never want to get stuck in a situation where you're holding shield on point and taking damage from 4 angles, but sometimes you just people get picked and stuff, and you have to do that to just stall. Nothing you can do.
Okay, so let's see how you approach this next one. So this time you're going straight through main. Is this because you want to pressure point ASAP?
Yeah, I just want to start a fight, so I just walk the point to pressure, and their ball has been not doing the greatest decisions, so I just pressure point. Maybe the ball will do weird stuff again. Because rushing on this point on backline can be kind of hard.
So what kind of stuff do you mean when you say the ball is making weird decisions? Like how do you recognize that the ball is making weird decisions?
I mean, the ball died like 4 times in the first 50 seconds, so that's you can like notice it's not doing great.
Okay, so here you're pressuring the Zarya, you're gonna find her, you W on her as you promised.
Yep.
The beat comes in. Okay, so what was the plan there, just to kind of knock Bob off point?
No, I think as they're using Nano, Valak, Pharah, we're down our BAP and Tracer, I think the fight is already lost, so I just pin and die.
Okay.
Like, there's a Nano Pharah, we don't have BAP, we used beat, I'm low HP. It's just GG.
So yeah, die fast basically is the motto there.
Yeah, just go next. So our BAP died to Nano Pharah, there's nothing you can do.
Makes sense. And again, I would say to anyone who's watching this later is that they're probably not dealing with Nano Pharahs because they're not going up against Yanza, but you know, it could be a different character, right? It could be like a Nano Genji blading in their backline, could be like a Reaper Death Blossoming, but the idea is that if there's something that's like clearly gonna win the fight for the enemy team, just die fast.
Yeah, you either wanna, usually when enemy has like a big nano play, you wanna trade backlines, like you wanna go aggressive and trade, that's the only way to win. If you just peel it, you're gonna die. Better to go aggressive and lose than to just take it and lose. Also, there's like legit no better DPS you can go against in NA or Europe than Kester and Yusanza, so it's like kinda hard to win this game as well.
Yeah, exactly. This is as tough as it gets. This is as tough as it gets.
Literally cannot get tougher in Europe than Kester and Yusanza versus Rein. Literally cannot get harder.
So this time you're going for, so this time you don't want to go straight on the point. You're trying to get the wider angle to rush their backline, I presume?
Yeah, here I called like, our Macri is splitting on the other side of the map, right, with our BAP, so we like do a pincer maneuver. So I like call, I'm gonna go left side, you guys can meet them right side, and we like pincer them in. Probably don't know our Kree is flanking, so I like you see they're gonna rotate right side into our Kree, then I just pin in on the other side and they just die. Like our Kree is going right side, I'm going here, and I just, like I pin in because I see nothing can kill me. I swing the Zarya away and then I just pin at Dana and kill him.
Yeah, and there you go. So there's the McCree here. He's making the space, he's making the pressure, and you're kind of adding to that pressure, right? It's like they deal with you or they deal with him. Is that the strategy?
Because I saw if you look at my POV, I saw like they turned on our Kree, so I had like free space, and I just
let's look at this back from your POV.
Because here they're like looking at me, whatever, you know, it's all good. Then I call my Kree, you can push now. Then here I noticed that they were fighting the Kree, so I just pin in and get the Dana.
And nice fire stack then. Yeah, so you know, a lot of people would be very concerned about like, oh no, if we go back a second, a lot of people would be concerned like, oh, my diva get grabbed up here, like should I not just go shield up her? But you're again, go ahead.
I don't care about my team. Like it's just like people care too much about the team as Rein. Like when you play like especially against Bam, you have your Diva Lucio group. If you can get your value, you should get your value. If your team dies, that's a team problem. That's how I mean maybe not the optimal way, but I like to get the most value.
Well,
Like,
again, I
if
think
I
that's...
like
Go ahead.
yeah, sir. Like if I like call my team exactly what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna flank left, gonna insert them here. If they die somewhere else, that's like a team issue, not my issue.
And I was gonna say, like, it actually adds very well to what you said at the start, which is that you have to change how you view Reinhardt. He's not this sit and shield anchor tank anymore. You play him much more as like an aggressive playmaker.
Reinhardt is the most damage stealing tank in the game. If you can connect, it's ridiculous how much damage Rein can do if you just connect with Rein. Like it can literally 1v3 a backline with Lucio. I guess it's 2v3, but if you connect on squeezes, they like die very fast. Very fast.
Yeah, and that's exactly what we
Find a
see
way to
here, right?
connect. Yeah.
You go and basically get... So, you know, a different Reinhardt would have shielded his Diva. You know, probably she still dies or the Lucio still dies, and then it's like a 5v6 or something, or 5v4 for your against your team. But you go in and get 2 picks, basically.
Yeah, you always gotta understand, because like everyone else of my team has aggro, right? The best way to help your team is to trade. If your Diva is getting grabbed or someone's getting a shot from somewhere, like the best way to do is to like make an aggressive play. Because your team is giving you space by getting grabbed, like then they're shooting the Diva, they're not shooting at you. The best way to help, I think the best way to help people in this game is to trade aggro, not by like holding shield and being AFK and healing them.
Yeah, that's a very like funny way of looking at it. It's like your team made space for you there to go and get kills by being grabbed. Like even, you know, because again, people see Reinhardt as the one who has to make space, but sometimes they make space for you to go and get the frags.
Yeah. If I'm the one getting grabbed and like May ulted and stuff, then my team has to be the one trading. But if my team is the one getting grabbed, then I need to be the one trading most of the time. I mean, it all depends, but it's just something I can see with the XP when like I can kill everything or when I need to hold shield. So I played so much Rein, I just kind of know when I need to trade and when not to trade.
Yeah, it's an intuition thing, right? It's something everyone has to figure out for themselves.
Yes, can't really teach it. Just comes down with so many hours you have in the game.
Exactly. Just yeah, it's just game sense, right? That's just game sense.
Yeah. Yep.
So here, like, you know, the Pharah stalling, the Mercy might die. This is just them trying to stall a little bit. Okay, looks like you're gonna get the cleanup. Okay, so you're kind of sitting back on point. What's the sort of thinking behind being in this kind of area here as you're waiting for the next fight?
I'm just thinking what we're gonna do and calling ults, and I think we had like someone dead, and we are like making a plan in voice here. I don't remember what it was, but it was probably like our Pap flanks with window and I go left side or something. Like we make a plan and then we proceed. I'm not gonna stand on point. I just think we were making a plan.
Sure. And again, so you're favoring that sort of pincer move again. Is that something you think is strong, either just with Reinhardt or in general?
I think it's a strong move, but you just have to time it well, especially when they don't have speed. If enemy has speed, it's not good, but they have like a spam comp, so they can't really speed on anyone, even if they have ball. Yeah,
and I think it's important that your Lucio's kind of coming with you. He's going to speed you along, and here you go. All right, let's see. So you charge in. Of course, it doesn't matter that you don't really connect with the Diva, because you've just kind of... There you go. The space has been created, right?
Yeah, I mean, maybe not optimal pin, but I kind of went for a lucky one. Maybe good RNG, but no. And because I know I'm not gonna die, so it's still a safe pin, even if I don't hit anyone. It's very unlikely that I die doing it. So.
And so let's just break down again, like when you make this pin. So what is it that makes you feel comfortable? Like, okay, I can make this pin.
Because I see their backlines really far. I only see Diva in my POV. I also know the ball is right side, so I kind of hope I get an RNG pin on the ball and kill him when he runs out. It's like, because I know I'm not gonna die, because I know how much damage their comp can do. There's nothing that can insta-kill me. They don't have Discord or anything. The only way I die if Ana hits sleep, but Ana wasn't like ready for the charge, so there's no way I get slept. So I can just make like a pin, even if it looks kind of scary. It's like there's no way I die.
Yeah.
So I have drone as well, and my Diva is like close.
Yeah, and so you got enough people around. Yeah, you've assessed the situation. Makes a lot of sense. And again, I think there's good evidence that, you know, not every flashy pin connects, but you got to make him to. You got to try. You know, you miss every shot you don't take.
Yes.
Okay, so Amp Matrix comes up. You dodge the bob. So you kind of resist the temptation to fire strike through the window again. Obviously, you feel it's more important to protect your team here.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing I can hit here. I mean, there's a diva in my face main, and I can try to hit Kevster, but it's not an AI, so he's gonna dodge it anyway.
Mm-hmm.
It's like nothing I can hit here with fire strike.
Here comes Jan from the web, but he trades, so that's good for you. And see here, yeah, here you've kind of assessed the situation and said, yeah, here actually, you know, everyone's too far away. I can't make any crazy trade plays. So here the best thing to do is to just shield my team, right?
Yep. Yeah, here there's nothing else I can do.
Okay,
Here
yeah, and yeah, there you
trouble.
go. I knew that was coming. The ball was asking for it.
Yeah, the ball came like literally in front. It's kind of lucky he doesn't die. I could have swinged him once, but I knew my Kree was. I thought he would die to our Kree and lose it. Then I kind of see now, which is unlucky.
Okay, so D bomb's gonna make a little bit of space for you guys. Nice pin. And I'd love to get into the sort of micro decisions as well. Why did you kind of push him towards the back end of the room and not, because you could have ended this pin here. Why did you push him into the corner?
Because then I'm not in the line of sight of opponent. There's nothing who can shoot me if I go to the far corner.
That's brilliant. That's a perfect, like, that's exactly the kind of answer I was looking for, because I think those kind of micro details are often like, I think a lot of players watching this will have been like, yeah, I would have just pinned here, but that's a really nice and important, I think, distinction. Like, you take them out of LOS of these guys, because if you look actually from here, you can see the Ana she's watching you. Like, she would have tried to get you there or heal her ball where if the pin had ended here. But yeah, by just a small decision of taking him a little bit further means that you actually get out the pin hunky dory. Like, you're looking perfectly happy now.
Yeah.
Okay, so is this kind of coordinated with your Lucio? He's gonna beat you, go aggressive?
Yeah, I said we can rush with beat, but we will go too early with the beat, so it's not so good. Yeah, I wanted to go like, here we go aggro with beat, but my Lucio went too early. It still works, but we could have waited like a couple more seconds. It's still a good play though.
And is that kind of something you like to do it, like particularly, you know, overtime, or, you know, when it's like last fight territories, like get aggressive before they get to set up?
No, I mean, it all depends. Usually the best way in overtime, if they have to touch, is to just play point as 6-man and don't feed. That's the best way to win. But here, like, we have speed, they don't have speed, we have beat. Like, it's just a perfect opportunity to rush. Because they're like really close main, and there's like a chance where we can rush them, because I had like good position and their squishes were close enough to die.
Awesome. Well, let's see here. It looks like it's just a bit of stall attempt from them.
Skege.
Nice. So clean 2-0. And yeah, you're making it look easy.
Yeah, that was like a hard game as well, because they literally have the best DPS they can have against the Rein comp, and they still win.
Yeah, what's the comps you most dislike coming up against?
I hate Seneco Tracer, but you can still win. Like, Seneco Tracer is really winnable, but for you to win, you need to have like a decent team. Like Seneco Tracer, Nanofara, you need like a decent team to win, because you can't like 1v6. Every other comp you can 1v6 with Rein Lucio. But
how do you change your approach as Reinhardt against, you know, Brawl Mirror versus double shield versus spam poke versus, you know, full dive?
I mean, Brawl Mirror, like, it's just all about Rein v Rein. Like, it's kind of hard to explain, but I know, like, I've played so much Rein v Rein in my experience. I like know every map, every situation, and what I need to do. I know like in Rein Mirror, it's all about the space you hold, and it's all about the timing when you go in, right? So it's like 3, 2, 1. Look at your team. Are they ready? Then you go in. Against spam, depends on the map, but King of the Hill, you need to look for rushes. If you have payload, like defense, you just buy time on payload and then rush when they're close. In payload, it's all about just finding the perfect timing to rush. In spam, full dive, you need to be more aggressive. If you're not aggressive versus dive, you're gonna lose. That's pretty much it. You need, like always, aggression is the solution, but you can't like brain AFK rush every fight. You need to have like good timing.
So to finish, let's summarize some of the most major points that Cloudy made. Cloudy says,
people like play Rein like a main tank when he's like a off-angle clearer DPS character.
This one hurts for me as a traditional anchor main tank player, but there's no point denying reality. Reinhardt is not the shield up main tank he once was. If you want to get value out of this character, you have to shift how you see him. Essentially, there are no more main tanks in Overwatch. Everybody is a hybrid or off-tank chunky DPS, so get with the program and start playing Rein like this too.
You need to rush one side, it doesn't matter what you rush, but if enemy is in 2 different angles, you have to push one side really hard.
This is probably the biggest problem most Reinhardt struggle with because of how slow he can be and because of the fact that his shield only covers one side. If you ever find yourself being pressured from 2 sides, make sure you just commit to one side and, if you can, try to bring your team with you. If the enemy team is splitting, that means you guys can easily win the team fight on one side. But even without your team, as Cloudy said, Rein can easily take on multiple squishies on his own if you time it right. And if you've got a Lucio,
it's clobbering time.
Reinhardt is the most damage dealing tank in the game if you can connect.
This just backs up what we said earlier. Don't underestimate the damage Rein does. You'd be tempted in times gone past to see his shield or his earth shatter as the most impactful part of his kit, but because of nerfs to those and buffs to his damage, he really hits hard now, so if you get the chance to brawl, then do it.
The best way to help people in this game is to trade aggro, not by like holding shield and being AFK and healing them.
Again, a super important concept for the new age Reinhardt. If you ever find yourself complaining that you're protecting your team as Reinhardt and they're doing nothing, then you're approaching the hero wrong. Sometimes you make space for your team, but sometimes if they're being pressured, that means space is out there for you. So get in there and trade with whoever you can and even out the numbers. Of course, this doesn't mean you should never protect anyone, but keep trying to ask yourself in game, how much difference will it make if I'm here to help versus if I was in their backline trying to get multiple kills?
Or like always, aggression is the solution, but you can't like brain AFK rush every fight, you need to have like good timing.
And this really is the best summary for this whole episode. Aggression is the way forwards, Reinhardts. Embrace it. This is especially true in ladder. If you're playing with a coordinated team, you probably shouldn't be trying crazy aggro plays all the time, but in the chaos of ranked, you've got to embrace the Chad tank inside you and try to make something happen. This is just how the game operates for tanks nowadays. You've got to contribute to kills and you've got to try and frag out. Don't be stupid with it. Things like my Reinhardt charge principles still apply. Avoid breaking the golden rules of angle and distance, but you've got more leeway now that the burden of protection is no longer on you. The most important part of getting it right or having it go horribly wrong is the timing. Wait for key cooldowns to be gone, wait for the enemy to be distracted, or wait for your team to be set up to follow. If you do these things, you might just find this new version of Reinhardt can pack quite the punch. And that's all I got for today, guys. Hope you found this video helpful, and I'll be looking to get more thought process going on individual heroes if you like this video. As always, I want to give a big shout out to my patrons who do the awesome job of supporting me, and if you want me to keep making videos like these, then do consider supporting me as well, but otherwise, do the usual liking, subscribing, and make sure you have the notifications turned on, otherwise YouTube might not show you any of my new videos. Speaking of, make sure you check out my second channel called The Soak, where I'll be doing movie and TV breakdowns. The first video is already up, and it's about the movie Up, and my second video will be coming soon where I'll be trying to convince you why the Queen's Gambit should have learned from sports anime, and in particular, Haikyuu. That's it from me. I'll be back before you know it with another video. See you guys soon.